Michael Jackson tried to warn us a long time ago. Michael Jackson tried to warn us what was happening within the music industry and Hollywood altogether. But Michael Jackson was labeled a child abuser. He was labeled a pedophile. He was accused of assaulting and abusing children, which he denied. And after looking at the Epstein files, I didn't see one thing about Michael Jackson. It's funny. It's interesting. Some people tried to use a photo of Michael Jackson and they said, this is him on the island. That was actually a picture of Michael Jackson at some Democrat event. He's not there. But a lot of other people are. And then later on, some of these kids came forward and said that their parents put them up to this to get money out of Michael Jackson. One of them, you may have known of, Aaron Carter. He talked about this, and many others, which we'll get into. But why did these people come after Michael Jackson? Why did the industry want to take him down? I think we need to go back to Sony. And there was a guy named Tommy Mottola who owned Sony. At one point in time, Mariah Carey, I believe, was married to him, very young at the time. Let me show you what Michael Jackson said about Tommy Mottola. Listen to this.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil. I'm not supposed to say what I'm going to say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
So, please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And Sony, being being the artist that I am at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony, several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Yeah.
So we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago.
Michael Jackson at that point in time wanted to get out of, walk away from Sony. These record companies really do own the artists. It's a lot of crazy shit that goes down. Prince was familiar with this as well, because Prince at one point wrote the word slave on his face. He was talking about Warner Brothers. He wanted to get out of his contract. So Prince's way of doing that was changing his name to that symbol. That's how he was able to get out of that. But from what I understand with Michael Jackson, I think he wanted his catalog, which back then you didn't hear as much about artists asking for their catalog like you do today, right? Like, I think Taylor Swift owns her catalog of music. I think she owns her masters, etc. But at that time, not as much. And Michael Jackson basically stood up to Tommy Mottola. And not only that, but he called him out, and he called him out publicly. We'll go on a little bit more here.
Because every album that I record, I write, like, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I write at least 120 songs every album I do. So I can do the box set and just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business,
So that part right there, they were very angry with him. They really don't like it when you don't do what they want you to do. They damn sure don't like it when you want to get out of your contract. You guys got to understand, for a lot of us growing up back in the day, Michael Jackson was like one of the biggest artists in the freaking world. And I never went to a Michael Jackson concert, but I know some people who did. And they said it was just like an out of body experience, right? Now we talk about Tommy Mottola. He's also in the Epstein files. There's a email here from Tommy Mottola to Jeffrey Epstein. See what I told you? Like some of the names they redact and some of them they don't. They don't cover up his name. The Tommy Mottola Media Group, all the way down here. It says, do you need to build a new house on the island as well? That is Tommy speaking to Jeffrey Epstein. There's a response here. Yes, houses and extra massage room for you in bulletproof glass. So that was Jeffrey Epstein telling Tommy Mottola an extra massage room for you in bulletproof glass. When I say these were evil people, these are evil, corrupt people. Michael Jackson was right about Tommy Mottola. Mariah Carey talked about him too. But Michael wanted to get away from Sony. Michael also, and I can't play it on here because of copyright. Michael Jackson made this song called They Don't Really Care About Us. They Don't Care About Us. Remember that song where he's like dancing and stuff? And he said, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. That was another example of Michael trying to tell us what was really going on. If you go back and you read the lyrics of that song, he was trying to tell you who was really in charge, what was really happening, and that us, by us, he was talking about all of us, the 99%, those of us at the bottom. And no, they don't care about us. Michael Jackson, because he bucked the system, I believe that's why they came after him with the charges, the child pedophilia charges. I still remember it like it was yesterday when Michael Jackson came on TV and said he didn't do it.
I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. I ask all of you.
So Michael Jackson said he didn't do it. He said that it wasn't him. And unfortunately, like at that time, a lot of the damage from the press, it had already been done. And Michael continued to deny that he did anything to those kids. And that brings me to two people in particular. Of course, Macaulay Culkin was close friends with Michael Jackson, and so was Corey Feldman. And so the media continued to ask them if anything happened to them. Let's get to the part here about Corey Feldman, because I want you to hear what Corey Feldman said. It's almost like the media, they were trying to put the words into their mouths. Just go ahead and say that he did something. Listen to what Corey Feldman said about Michael Jackson.
The only celebrity at the time in 1993 to come out and say absolutely not. Absolutely not. He never touched me. He never touched anybody. As far as I know.
There's 4 FBI agents waiting for me.
Wait 1 second. So that was Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman has said this multiple times that Michael Jackson did not do anything to him, sexually, anything in that manner. Then we get to Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter, for those who are not aware, he is the brother of Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. You know, at one point, Aaron Carter had his own solo career as well. Unfortunately, Aaron died. He did struggle with issues of drugs. And listen to this.
Say absolutely not. As far as I know,
There's 4 FBI agents waiting for me in the hotel room. And my mom's there and she's like, tell them what happened. And I'm like, what do you mean tell them what happened? And I sit down with them and they all ask these super sexually exploiting, you know, questions, backsided questions. And I knew that at my age already. And I looked at all 4 of them and I said, are y'all crazy? I said, what you think I'm going to do? Tell you that Michael did something bad so that we can sue him for money? That's what I told him. I was like, you're crazy. And I looked over at my mom and I was like, are you serious, Mom? I was like, what is going on here? Why are you letting this happen? And she goes, well, I think something happened. You know, I think something. I'm like, really? That man did nothing but be hospitable, kind, loving, giving, everything you could think of. We rode 4-wheelers for 5 hours, me, him, and Chris Tucker. Like, I knew Michael better than all of them.
So for those who are not familiar with the Carter family, at one point they did have a reality show. You know, Nick and Aaron, they grew up in a family that struggled with addiction as well. So keep that in mind. But I will say this. This was one of the games that was played where they were trying to get kids that they knew who had been to the Neverland Ranch to come out and say that Michael Jackson abused them, sexually abused them, right? Or touched them inappropriately at any form of time. And one of those people that came forward and said that and was on Oprah's show was Wade Robson. Now, Wade was a dancer for a long time within the industry. Wade recently, not too long ago, said that it was all a lie. People were doing it for money. Now, some will say, well, Michael shouldn't have been around those kids. Look, I say this, you know, Michael was an adult. Do I think that Michael should have been hanging out with little kids? No. You guys know how I feel about this age thing. We didn't have this conversation about old girl, Charlie Kirk's wife. I forgot her name. That's bad. We already had this conversation about old girl and her inappropriate relationship with the 15-year-old. So do I think that Michael Jackson as an adult should have been hanging out with kids? No. I think Michael Jackson felt as though he was a kid, that he missed out on his childhood and not realizing like how that would look to the public, like someone as an adult. Do I think, and I said it back then, do I think that Michael Jackson harmed those kids? No, I don't think so at all. I don't think that he did. And it was very clear that this was a money grab. But the money aside, it tarnished his reputation and things went downhill for him for quite some time after that. Erica Kirk. I don't know why I forgot her name. I'm sorry. Woo! But yeah, you know, I think people need to hang out with people around their age. Like, I think if you're an adult, you shouldn't be hanging out with kids. But I never thought that he did anything to those kids. Let's continue on a little bit more here with Aaron.
Yeah, I believe
even
everything that I've
Macaulay,
seen.
If it was Macaulay right now,
I'm not buying it.
Even
I'm
if it was
not
Macaulay
buying
Culkin sitting right here, he would tell you the same thing I did with the same assertiveness.
Yeah.
What happened at the house? That's what all these things
It's,
are
you know,
concerned
that's what's so
about.
weird, you know.
What did happen?
Nothing happened, you know. I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games. You know?
It really pisses me off that people think about Michael like that, because
I do.
That was Macaulay Culkin saying nothing happened. We played video games. This is Aaron Carter again here.
Well, you're wrong.
No, but wait,
You're wrong, Howard.
Right.
My opinion is, if he didn't do anything to me, I don't think he would have done anything to anyone else.
That was Macaulay Culkin again. Here is Corey Feldman.
I've told the police. In fact, if anybody wants to go back to 1993 when I was interviewed by the Santa Barbara Police Department, I sat there and I gave them the names. They're on record. They have all of this information, but they were scanning Michael Jackson. All they cared about was trying to find something on Michael Jackson.
Do you guys hear what Corey Feldman is saying? So Corey Feldman was one of the first people coming forward in Hollywood and said that him and his friend Corey Haim were abused by these men in Hollywood, working within the Hollywood industry. He gave the police names. They didn't go and arrest these guys or interrogate these guys. What Corey Feldman is saying is that they were too busy trying to get him to say that Michael Jackson did these things to him. So it was already planned. It's like, yeah, I know you told us these guys did it, but we wanted to be this guy. So this is going to go after, right? And I believe the police were told to do that by people higher up. So all those years went by and people called Corey Feldman crazy, and he told people about child abuse that was happening in Hollywood at the hands of these producers and directors, etc. And nothing was done. Now, are you surprised when you see what's coming out of the Epstein files? They go after who they want to go after. Let's go on more here.
That, by the way, did not abuse you.
Who Michael was innocent. And that was what the interview was about with the police in 1993. I told them he is not that guy. And they said, well, maybe you just don't understand your friend. And I said, no, I know the difference between pedophiles and somebody who's not a pedophile because I've been molested. Here's the names. Go investigate.
Hi, guys. Thanks for watching my video. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan.
That's the girl who made that video. But do you see how they were trying to tell Corey who it was, even though he gave them the names of the people that sexually abused him? You see how they were trying to tell him that it was Michael Jackson instead? This is some of the things that happened to some of the other kids as well. Their parents told them, what did you do there? Oh, but did he do this? He did this, didn't he? He did this to you, didn't he? And you're a kid. It's like, and your parent is telling you this thing happened or whatever. I mean, what's the kid going to do? Like, most likely, right? Now, I want to get to this part here as well. The Macaulay Culkin part again. Michael Jackson apparently rescued children from Epstein. This, along with the song about Palestine, led to his discrediting. This is another thing that we have to mention. Michael Jackson wrote a song about Palestine. Of course, they wouldn't allow him to publish that song. But again, that's going against the establishment, going against the grain, right? So they don't like that. This was the first time I had heard that Neverland was really supposed to be a safe place for those children to save them from people like a Jeffrey Epstein. Listen to this.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
So they're saying Neverland is...
Do you hear that? This is from Macaulay Culkin.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein's island. And because he was going against their regime, they punished him and they flipped the script and made it appear as if he was the one abusing them, when in reality they were abusing them, and he was protecting the children, he was protecting the celebrities. And you have celebrities like Macaulay Culkin who've gone on record to protect and defend Michael Jackson. This all makes sense. It has finally come together. This man has been dead for so long, but now it's coming together. Not only
now it's all starting to make sense that was supposed to be a safe place for them. Again, I still don't think a grown man should have been hanging out with these kids. That's just my take on that. But I think the thing with Michael Jackson is that he didn't have a childhood. He was basically providing for his family ever since he was a kid. Remember, the Jackson 5 formed, he was one of the younger people. I think either Randy or Marlon may have been younger than him, but he was one of the younger ones with the biggest voice, right? And so he's the one that really took off. But the reality is his brothers were older. They had an actual childhood. And then it got to the point where we all know about Joe Jackson and how he was with those kids. I mean, you basically was providing for your family. And then now you live this life of luxury where it's like, this is kind of what you have to do because this is what they got used to. So there's that. Let's go on a little bit more here.
did he protect the children from the physical things that were being done to them? And you know what I'm saying. You just social media, gotta be careful. But he also were protecting them from the social and emotional abuses that were occurring by advising Britney Spears to get out from under her dad before the conservatorship.
That part about the Britney Spears part, I found that to be interesting. Julie said Randy Jackson and Janet Jackson are the youngest two. Michael was just above them. Yeah, but Janet wasn't a part of the Jackson 5. I think Janet got to have a little bit more of a childhood than they did. I know she was on Good Times, but I think it seems like she got into it a little bit later. But I think that Michael was pretty young, like at that time. I know some people are saying they think this video is AI, but I had already verified a lot of this as well, that's what Neverland was really supposed to be. Let me continue on here.
And things of that nature. This man was a lifesaver. Nonetheless, those of you who are like me, help me fact check this, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure this is right. But this is what I've been hearing up to this point, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, I checked it too. That's really what it was supposed to be. Until this day, Macaulay Culkin still says, you know, Michael was a good friend and he never did anything to him that was inappropriate. Macaulay Culkin still stands by that. So it was just interesting to me that numerous times, whether it was police, whether it was, you know, commentators, reporters, they tried to get Corey Feldman, Aaron Carter, who again is now deceased, and Macaulay Culkin to say that Michael did these things. And here's another one. Like, this just goes to show you how many times this showed up, where here's Corey Feldman again. I think it starts there. Or is that the Aaron part? That's the Aaron part. Here's Corey right here. I think it starts with Aaron.
That's right. And just this past January, Macaulay talked about the pop star on the Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum podcast. He revealed that he and Jackson bonded over their childhood fame.
He reached out to me because a lot of things were happening, like, you know, big and fast with me. And I think he identified with that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's almost easy to try to say, oh, it was like weird or whatever. But it wasn't. It's like one of my friendships that people question only because of the fact that he was the most famous person in the world. He was the kind of person who'd been through the exact same freaking thing and wanted to make sure that I wasn't alone in that kind of,
Was he fun?
He was awesome. He was hilarious. He was sweet. And people didn't know how funny he was. For me, it's so normal and mundane. I know it's a big deal to everyone else, but for me, it's it was a normal, it was a normal friendship.
And another longtime friend of mine.
And we'll show, I have to fast forward because of copyright. I know how that can be, but I want to show you again. Here was Corey Feldman again.
They also got to know each other because Corey was a child actor.
Mm-hmm. Melanie actually talked to him about Michael last year, and it was clear that he firmly believed Michael was innocent of any sexual abuse allegations.
All I do know is what I know. And what I know is Michael was a gentleman and he was respectful to every child that I saw him with and to me myself. So there was a group of kids and we all formed a bond. We were all friends with Michael. And I asked each one of those kids about their experiences, and every one of them told me the same thing that I experienced.
So do you guys hear this? And I don't know how many times Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin had to say this. Aaron can't say it anymore because he has passed away. But this is what they do. When you're around these people, rich, powerful people, and, I think that Michael Jackson started to see what the industry was really about and what these people really wanted. And it seems like Michael Jackson was a generous, kind person who really actually cared about people. These people in the industry are vultures. And it seemed like once he realized what they were really about and he tried to break away from that, that's when they come after you. That's when they smear you. That's when they slander you. And here we go. Okay, we're going to say that he's abusing kids. And people won't think otherwise because he has this ranch called Neverland and he lets these kids come over there and spend the night. So they come after your reputation. And these are the big people in the industry. Like again, the Tommy Mottola, that's another one that I think people should pay close attention to. But another one here that he was trying to protect the children. Listen to this.
So you mean to tell me the Epstein files reveal that Michael Jackson was actually trying to help the kids by taking them to Neverland to get them away from the perverts? Do y'all know what that means? So according to the new Epstein files info, Michael Jackson created Neverland to be a safe space for kids to go to get away from the perverts like Epstein and Diddy. And since Michael Jackson was about to expose, or was in the middle of exposing them, allegedly, that is why he got took out.
That part right there, exposing them. Well, you know, if Michael Jackson was still alive today, he would probably say, well, looks like some of you getting exposed anyway, right? And there's the whole thing about even Michael Jackson's death. Dr. Conrad, who said that he was giving him that medication, I think it's called Profilol or something like that, to help him sleep. Obviously, it was an overdose. This effectively killed Michael Jackson. I mean, it was all very suspicious to me, you know, at that point in time. And I don't know, man. I don't know. They have a way of shutting people up.
Allegedly. I still don't think y'all understand the gravity of this situation now. So now the whole conspiracy theory with Diddy and the coroner and somehow that Secret Service or agent or whatever, Fahim or whatever that guy named that worked with Diddy, who many conspiracy people were saying had something to do with MJ being taken out of here. Now that all kind of makes sense in a sense. And so since Michael Jackson was trying to take down that whole perverted scheme, they flipped it on him and made him look like he was the...
Every accusation is a confession. Sound familiar? We'll say that he's doing these things.
The predator. And I'm talking about Michael Jackson. When all this time it was a bunch of bullshit. And it was them trying to protect their self. And in turn, they shitted on Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And I don't like it. What a...
That is one of the things that they will do to people to try to tarnish their reputation, is they'll say that, oh, well, we'll say that they abuse children or something like that, so that, you know, it doesn't just tarnish their reputation. It makes it more difficult for them to get a job, to get, you know, continue working like in business, whatever profession that they're in. It can obviously like hurt them in significant ways. But when we look back at things, you know, this again was someone that really tried to say, whoa, I know what you guys are about. He tried to tell us through his music, through the song, they don't really care about us. Read the lyrics if you haven't read them. And then I also have to add this part. You know, I look back at Prince too. When Prince died, it was very questionable to me as well. We know that Prince did fight back against Warner Brothers. Listen, guys, these industries, whether it's music, movies, TV, these are really powerful people that own these companies. Whether it's Warner Brothers, whether it's Sony, Lionsgate, whatever. These are powerful people that own these companies. And the people who own the companies don't care about the artist. They care about making money. And if they see that you're disrupting how they make money, you know, Michael Jackson having a song about Palestine, Michael Jackson wanting to come forward about what he was seeing happening and what was happening within the industry, how they were treating kids. Oh, they would have been done. You wonder sometimes who else will come forward. You look at some of these people who were child stars, And you can tell something just went wrong there. We put all the cards on the table. It's not even just about Michael Jackson. I think Amanda Bynes has been screaming for help for years. I think Britney Spears was screaming for help for years. I still remember the day I saw Britney Spears on the cover of a magazine, half naked, and she was still a teenage girl. What mother lets that happen? And I think the parents, some of them just look the other way. I really do. I think they pimped out their kids. I think some of them looked the other way because they just wanted the money. So you look back and you wonder what happened to some of these people. It shouldn't take a Nickelodeon documentary to reveal it, but that revealed some things. And oftentimes you ask, where were the parents? So there's a lot of predators in the music business. There's predators in the movie business and the TV business. And if you're just a young kid who wants to be a star, and if you're a young kid who wants to be a star that may be coming from a broken home, it's like they go after certain people. And I think you can tell the difference. If you look at the ones where the parents were still very much active and involved in the life, Tatiana Ali, I think, is a perfect example. She played Ashley from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Tatiana Ali said her parents still treated her like a normal kid. She still had to do her homework on time. She still had to have chores, and they were very much involved in her life, even though she was on TV. And I think that's important. But the whole damn industry just seems very, very predatory, especially with children. So if you hear the stories about what they did to the adults, like MJ and others, what do you think they do to these kids? And this goes way back. I talked about Judy Garland about a year ago. She was also abused. This goes way back within the industry. But some of these parents just want money and just see dollar signs. And it gets to the point where the kid is now taking care of the parents. So I don't know, man. You wonder like what happened to some of these people. But it's very obvious the industry is just completely cruel and disgusting. Other people refer to it as the game. Eminem mentions it in a number of songs. He said, I try to leave, but the game won't let me. All one big industry. So when you see all this stuff with the Epstein files right now, like I want to point back in this direction because I pointed back at Michael Jackson because this was the person that had the Neverland Ranch. This is the person that they said was abusing all these children at his ranch. And meanwhile, you have a whole slew of Epstein files. And like I said, Michael Jackson is not there. All these other people are there. He tried to warn us. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.